And we're going. So, yeah. Go away. My name is Andre Voss. I'm with CGL, Ritchie Green Architects in New York. We do, well, we're going to be talking about the cloud, what it does, what it means, why it doesn't behave.
I feel better than giving you a problem.
It always is. It always is. I'm also testing a new presentation tool today.
Yeah.
Just because. Why not? So, a minute ago you were working. So, I'm running from my phone. So. All right, so let's try this again. I'm Andre. Hello, everybody. So, a little bit about me. Let's get started. So, maybe I'm just standing behind here after all. So, I was born and raised in Germany. I came to New York in 2001. I'm currently working with CGL, Ritchie Green. We're doing justice facilities, courts and corrections. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Revit users group. There are a bunch of hobbies I've got. Soccer is mostly watching, not playing. My knee is too busted for that. So let's see, who do we have? Any design architect? Well, first of all, Ryder Broom side. Elemental P. Okay, Revit users group. All right, excellent. So design architect, designers, all right. Interior designers, all right. Engineers, BIM managers, IT folks. Anybody here wearing multiple hats? One, like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 IT. That's me, basically, right? The Swiss Army knife in the office. You're the BIM guy, but all of a sudden it's like, yeah, but you can also do the IT thing. And you're like, no, I don't. But somehow they think we do. BIM consultants, IT consultants, that type of thing is around, right? Construction managers, few, okay. Owners, probably not today. So I tend to move around, sorry, forgive me. The cloud, right? I mean, what on earth is that? Who is using the cloud? Okay, let me try that again. Who's using the cloud? Everyone. Is anybody having one of these?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're having one of these, you're probably using the cloud. You might not know it, but you are. Which cloud services are you using? Let's have a look at the entire thing here. Oh, of course, it's code. Can you do me a favor, everybody? Pull out your phones. This is the interactive bit. We're still in the interactive phase. Everybody pull out your phones. Go to menti.com. And I will... That will give you an interface.
Not connected.
Okay. But that's, my phone is connected. You want to connect your phone to my Wi-Fi?
I have HN1, HN, Larry, what's the password?
Public Wi-Fi is ASNYC, ASNYCCRC, and then it's HNI, public, lowercase, all one word, HNI public. Once you're at the menti.com interface, type in that code, and there you go. Some people are understanding this. So what cloud services are you using? Type them into the interface that's coming up, and just keep going. Come on around. We don't fight. Seriously. What's the code? The code is 906212. And just let me know. Come on in, ladies. We don't fight. Grab a glass of wine, and then come on in. There's more space available up front. Come on in there. All right, Google Drive, rendering, Firebase, Azure, AWS. All right. So the way this works, the more you type, the more interesting this gets. The big words in the middle are being used by multiple people. The smaller words around the fringes. Anybody using things like Dropbox? Yeah, there you go. Keep going. Like, just keep thinking. Keep typing. What are you using? What is on your phone? Look at your apps. Are you using Google Apps? Are you using Wave? Are you whatever it may be? Really kind of curious. Well, the rest I'm picking up on a few, and I'm hoping that you'll come up with a few that I haven't thought of. Yeah, before. All right, Netflix. There you go. All right. And it's on there. All right, excellent. So we have a few. Everybody's using the moment I say Dropbox, everybody says, yeah, come on, we'll see. Because you know this was the cloud, right? That's what we get. All right, seems like we're settling down. Excellent, I love it. Actually, while you do this, I'm going to remove you from your own meeting.
Have to keep hydrating.
Hydration is coming. All right. Uber. Somebody's thinking outside the box. The box. Revit cloud. All right. I'll just transfer. That's the moment we need to photograph. So everybody's using it. So what is it? Can somebody explain that to me? Like, what do you think? We've got a couple of experts here. We've got a couple of ringers. I know that. Somebody, think about it this way. Einstein, right, said, if you can't say it in a couple of simple sentences, you haven't understood it right. What's the cloud?
It is remote service.
Remote service, all right. That's pretty good. Anybody else wants to? I know that he's in the business, so anybody else wants to take a stab?
Remote storage.
Remote storage, yes. Anybody else? What is the cloud? There's no wrong answers, I promise. Jason? Huh? Not here. Love that. Got a point. It is not here, but it's somehow around us anyway, right? So my entire thought at some point was the cloud doesn't exist. It means many things to many people. But as a thing, it is not here. Whereas it doesn't really exist. What does exist is a bunch of equipment, and that equipment does things, and it does things for us. And let's look at the equipment and what that does. There's storage, right? Cloud storage. There's processing, right? We had that before. Rendering, 360, right? Those things. There's equipment that does interfacing with either VR or computer or pads or screens or whatever it may be. There's equipment that transfers files between the storage warehouse and your processing unit, right? I tend to think of this in very mechanical terms, like building a car, right? You've got your warehouse where metal is, and then you've got your processing plant where you put the car together. And images and keystrokes are getting transferred between your processing unit and your interface, where you are, right? Images come at you, and you process out objects and images. Historically, this is a tour, I know but I can't do it any other way. Back in the day, there used to be this thing called mainframe, right? Somebody old enough to actually admit that they remember those? Oh, there we go, like 1, 2, 3, there you go. Take a pride in your experience. Yeah. There's not all ruled by millennials and hipsters. There's pride in experience. There were mainframes where storage and processing was somewhere in your building at IBM. They built this big thing, right? With watch numbers. The movie about the NASA, right? There was the computer. IBM built this mainframe that had the card. That was the mainframe. And each working drone had a terminal, known as a terminal, where you would sit. And there was just images for it, time up in America probably. Data coming at the mainframe, and you would process them back to keystroke. The reason I'm putting this up there will kind of come back to and I went to, a whole slew, a whole army of interfaces, but it was all coming off of the same mainframe. Then we got into personal computers, where files were trafficked back and forth between the CPU, that black box, or that space, or that tan box that you need, and your interface. All of a sudden, that was the long distance in your office, coming from your storage server to your desk. And there were files going back and forth. And then, obviously a whole army of us out there, and these files needed to be trafficked back and forth. One image is easy. Little detour before we get to this stuff. Core competency. These three guys, they're football players. They're winning things, or have won things in their lives, and they become commentators, reporters in their football field. Some of them have tried, no, all of them have tried movies and TV and other things. I'm pretty sure they all play golf, but I would never call them a golfer. Right? I wouldn't even call them actors, even though they've all tried. One of them is running a morning show, totally different, separate career, and he's really good at it. And there is core competency in there. But the other two, the footballers that don't sit on TV. It all boils back to something, and that is something, another concept I've seen a lot, where a service, a thing, started as one thing, and then tried to do this too, and then tried that other thing too, try everything, and there's a core competence most of the time, right? Think of your own office, that your theoretical emphasis for small and mid-sized businesses, there's a core market. And yes, you can also run your own house or your brother's apartment. But there's a core competency of what we do. It's mostly true with a lot of these cloud services. Core competency, and then they start spreading out and money a little more. So let's talk about the different elements here for a second. Cloud storage, right? We had that. When it comes to the architectural scope, what we do here, right? We're all mostly somewhat design, architect, construction related. The two services that provide cloud storage are Autodesk 360 and the BIM cloud. That's basically the parallel product from Revit, which is running architect. And then there's a whole slew of other people who offer storage, right? Your phone does, some give it straight to Amazon, others use Dropbox or IBM ShareFile Box, you name it. What these people do, what Dropbox does as a core competency, is store your data. Transferring from the storage facility to whatever processing facility. Two ways of doing this: software optimization, RAM, local area network is the whole thing where everything was trained in one office, right? Now it's the wide area network where you're sharing the same files, the same project, be that Photoshop or Rhino or whatever with London, LA, New York. It doesn't really matter, and everybody wants to have a single source of truth as your file. So making the transfer of data, of information happen. Again, BIM Cloud and BIM 360 are doing that on the proprietary level, and then there's the hardware-based WAN optimization. Right? Somebody earlier had mentioned Pensura. Pretty much from what I can tell, from what I have heard, one key factors, WAN optimizers that's out there. Cisco Citrix, Talon, Riverbed, they're all doing that, making sure that files go from storage to processing, from the warehouse to processing. And that all became necessary because files got big and locations went worldwide. We're not in one location anymore. So each of your offices, wherever that may be, Munich, Dakar, Dhaka, for that matter, gets a piece of hardware, basically. You know, that looks like a little piece of box every year. And they talk to each other and make sure that the files get trafficked quickly, kind of like a little Formula One race car. Formula One, not NASCAR. The software-based WAN optimization is usually a data center, wherever it may be, and from that one central location, data gets trafficked to the locations around the world. I have no idea how that works. I'm an architect, not a software engineer, but they do make it work. BIM 360 works. It is effective. And you can run during, at some point in this, when somebody says latency, if anybody works on latency and not understood what on earth it means, it took me like 4 weeks to figure that out. It's basically, you know, the speed of light is not instantaneous. So that kind of plays in there when you're trying to get a piece of data, electron from New York to London. It does take a second of time, and it comes back. And we're not talking about one piece of data, not one byte. We're talking about a Revit file of 7 gigabytes. So that is a lot of things that need to go back and forth. That's, in my mind, a lot of little Formula One cars, tiny little packages. And when they go down, that's it. And so there's a hardware-based path of overcoming that physics, and there's a software-based magic of overcoming that. So let's look at the processing side. Again, same thing. And we think, yay, it's like one brand name that Autodesk has given us. BIMX is, again, Graphisoft, ArchiCAD, their equivalent. V-Ray is doing that, and a bunch of other things. When you upload your data to the cloud does the rendering and all the processing, meaning some data center somewhere. It's running all the processes and just sends you back the end result. So rather than your one computer box by you or your laptop or whatever it may be, having to work, and then think, compute, you ship that out somewhere else. The cloud is happening, the processing is happening. That's another on a bunch of things. People looking at me. So the last three, very much architecture specific, but it can also be done by Microsoft Azure, by Amazon, by the IBM cloud, and a bunch of other tools. When you look, if you look at it, you know, your Alexa, your Siri, your whatever it may be, your OK Google, they all do exactly that, right? You just say, OK, Google, tell me, and Google comes back with something. Right? Google Docs, Office 365, same thing. Processing takes place elsewhere, not on your phone. You can access your Google Docs on your phone. Your phone is not processing that. Cloud interface thing is a little bit mushy. I just wanted to include that kind of to get our 5 elements here sorted out. You know, all your interface devices, your Alexa and whatever. And then there's an option rather than look at it one by one and buying your services, like all of these services you can buy one by one and pay everybody a little. You can also start going into combining things, where the storage and your processing takes place in the same data set. This goes back to the history, right? Terminal, mainframe, kind of a similar organizational concept, except now it's not that the mainframe is in your basement. We now call it the cloud, and it's sitting in Ashburn, one of the Carolinas, Virginia. It's like an entire town that is nothing. It's like 8 data centers for a town, just data centers. Or Buffalo, New York.
It's super small.
It's
It's a very small.
it's like 8 residents, but they acres, like data centers. So, 2 concepts: virtual desktops and remote desktops. Tiny little differences in there that I don't want to get into here today. And so, who can provide that? Advanced 2000 back there, one of our sponsors, Adam, and Chris. Sorry. They're running one of these data centers and that can do this. AT 3D Consulting. They are. Anybody have a follow here? Alan Polinsky. Anybody know that name? Working with them. He's running a successful. Started as a CAD consultant. BIM consultant, now hardware consultant too. IMS Cloud, they build customized solutions of this stuff for you. And you have obviously your big players that want to have a piece of that pie. As a matter of judgment, not description. Currently, there's a delta between me. The customized, if you want to work in Photoshop, heavy in Photoshop, in rendering, in Revit, in Architect, anything that has big, heavy data intent, computer intent, you want to go with a customized solution. A2K, and then the other folks. The market seems to be more commoditizing, becomes more of a commodity. Google, Amazon, they're pushing into that market, but they're not quite there just yet. They've made great strides in the last 2 years. We're hoping as end users that at some point they're going to start being in this phase 2 and we're not quite there yet. So, 21st century. What do we got? We can run these WAN optimizations because we have that world thing and we're all around and all over the place. And we have gotten very much used to 5, 10 megabyte photo files and how big is a Photoshop file these days, 30, 40 megabytes. That's the traffic quick. So you can get yourself a little race car that drives between your warehouse and your process, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Or you can put everything up in one data center with processing, and the storage is happening nearby. That's really quick and really efficient. They go by each other. And all your trafficking to your end user are images and keystrokes. Now, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that was a bit of a problem. The images just took too long. By now, our internet speeds, 5G is coming up. Our internet speeds are fast enough that it works. I've worked with a few of these concepts. I do. Just gotta watch it out. So, key features. Yeah. So, on the advantage side, the WAN optimization is attaches to your existing system. If you have a medium-sized firm of like 20, 30, 60 people, and you have invested in all the hardware over the years and everything is there, and you just find out that things are slow when you're collaborating with somebody else somewhere, you buy one of those boxes, you attach it, and you don't have to change a thing. End user change is extremely minimal. You can buy that hardware, you can rent it, different cost models. Probably going to have to pay for sustained support. Something will go wrong, right? It can go wrong sometimes. If you're looking at a data center solution where you put everything in one data center, it's a complete system. The capacities can reach your desktop anytime, anywhere. I'm literally running this off of the same desktop that I was sitting at 90 minutes ago at my office. It does require some planning and separation. For the end user, it's relatively simple. You just log into something, your desktop shows up as usual. But your IT will have to know what they're doing. You'll have to plan that out. You will have to get support from whoever runs that data center, regular things, that hardware that you're kind of renting. And yeah, again, it's decommoditized. We're looking at the market. It seems to be most of all. You can also, but don't necessarily have to rent it from a provider. You can also build yourself if you're a big enough firm. By the way, where's Perkins, for example, they did not. They opted to not build it on their own premises. They went for some vendor, I think Azure, I'm not sure. But they have in-house capacity. About 1,000 people working there. They have their in-house. My office, we didn't. We went to a different time. So those are things to be considered. Looking at consideration, eternal cost value question, right? This entire thing came about when our office was hitting the limit of what we could do, and our Revit data transfer thing just slowing us down, and our principals were kind of tired of hearing the production folks saying, Revit takes long. Which it did, but then the question was how to do stuff. So, no one just, one of the architects, I ended up going into this research. And the question was always that every principal asked, what's the cost and what's the value? Like, what's the bang for the buck? So, our eternal triangle, schedule, quantity, and quality, right? The cost is somewhat embedded in all of these. So, when it comes to schedule, and you want to have a look at any kind of cloud situation, be that going to a data center or any design optimization. Researching takes time. The planning of it, some things take longer, others don't. BIM 360 happens really fast, right? BIM 360 happens really fast. You just find out more. So some things you have to build, others you don't. It's right there at your fingertips. Do you have to test it or not? Does your transition take time or not? Between the different systems. The quantity, how many users do you have? How does it scale? Does it scale? The size, complexity, is there the opportunity for hybrid solutions? Some of the people do one type of thing. Others do other different profiles. We need to consider those. And then the quality, keeping up with demand, keeping up with their partners. My firm, we do a lot of collaboration with large architects. We do several courthouses on the site. So we do the court planning, shell architects. And we need to be able to see with them, right? It's not that I can sit there and say, oh, I'm good at handwriting. I need to be able to talk to my people. There's different levels of horsepower, as I tend to phrase it. Your administrative staff has to reduce your production staff, and those are minuscule compared to your rendering folks. Really want the latest and greatest. And there's different cost ones. You rent, you own, have things hybrid.
short history, only because we did the Federal Reserve Bank, and they were at the time the inventors of MicroStation, which was the first drafting platform. It was set up for server-based, so only the large firms had it. AutoCAD, when it started, was PC-based. Your files were on your PC, and that was it. There was no share file. There was no sharing of any files. So the idea that once AutoCAD figured out how to get into a server and could then become more affordable for the small and medium firms, that's when AutoCAD took off. Getting into 3D, I don't know anything about. All I know is 2D. Started with MicroStation. Bell Labs actually invented it out in New Jersey, but it was server-based. So they had silos the size of this room. They eventually got down to rack rooms, but MicroStation was only used by Skidmore. It was used by the large multi-city firms that existed. AutoCAD, when I started, you had it on your computer and that was it. You got to create separate files for each drawing file, and to find a printer who could actually figure out how to make those drawings work. There were 3 in New York. 3. Out of all the blueprinters, you could take your blueprints anywhere. To get the guys that were doing AutoCAD, National Reprographics, which is now something else, was the first one. Yeah, Blue Edge were the first ones to do it, and they basically took over the market. So you guys learning all this stuff, I could learn it after I got out of college. I learned to draw by hand. I spent months drawing expansion joint details by hand with a crazy Russian guy who's correcting them every day. So the concept that you guys can get 3D stuff shared around the world was just a mind blower when AutoCAD started. And so you really do have the advantage of being able to share information so much faster than we did, because if you didn't have a server, you couldn't do anything. If you were stuck with just your PC, you were at the mercy of what your PC capacity is. So the concept that this all happens now like this, I'm so glad I never had to learn Revit. Anyway, that's the sort of history of AutoCAD.
Excellent. I love it. So, going back to our eternal triangle. So, when I'm sitting on that side of the I'm usually thinking, okay, I'll spend an hour with you, presenter. Do I have more questions now than I have before last question? Right? Then I realized it's actually totally irrelevant because I have better questions. So, what questions do you have? Better or worse? More or less? Ask them. Somebody, I've just talked for an hour. There's no way you can understand everything. How did you get on that? All right. Take your time. I'll grab my.
Do you have any prospect of what you see coming next? What you vision?
The data center thing will figure out. The WAN optimization, from what I can tell, is it has been successful over the last 10, 15 years because it became an increment, right? So, files got a little larger at a time, and one firm figured out how to do this, put hardware in both offices and make them talk better and faster. And then files got bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's basically you're putting a turbocharger on an 84 Jetta. Your infrastructure, the basic design setup is still the same that it was in 1985. But you're taking this Endura box and Endura down the fence. You're attaching that turbocharger to an 84 Jetta, and you're making the thing as fast as it can. Going into the data center, we all do. When you're sharing something with your friends on a Google spreadsheet, you are using the cloud. You are using a data center. And most of us have done that, right? We're organizing. So the next step from that up, Google is streaming single applications, like a spreadsheet application, like a processing application. The next step up from that is an agnostic system, where any application can run stream through the cloud. that is the back to going to the mainframe. That's what Advanced Consulting does. That's what, you know, a couple of other people are doing. For the architecture realm, customized, very customized. If you're running sales shift, maybe you don't have to go for that. But, yeah,
I was going to say, for the data center guys standpoint, so I'll do that. So it's not so much that the tool is going to evolve, or we don't know yet, past where the cloud is, right? It's the cloud will evolve, the access to the cloud. Okay? So today, you're at the whim of the platform, as what Andre had earlier, when you were having trouble bringing up the interface. You're at the mercy of the internet, right? And then the bandwidth of that internet is valuable, right? Especially with running so many private programs. So it's that access, it's that bandwidth, getting you to the cloud. That's going to be the evolution. Okay? Very